All right, welcome guys. Welcome to everyone, all of the YouTube viewers. All right, welcome,
Welcome, guys.
welcome everyone. All right, I'm gonna give you a bit of a chance to get in, get yourselves in, keep going, jump in, give a bit more room. Make sure everybody's there. All right, we'll start in about a minute. Just loading up all the charts, making sure we're ready to go. All right, all right. Keep on joining in, guys. Welcome everyone as you're coming in. Welcome. Quite a hot day today, but yeah, let's go. All right, I'm gonna start on. Let's crack on with some analysis now. It's FX analysis, not crypto. So let's get things cracking along. All right. If you guys will enter in, we'll know. All right. So taking off the waiting room. All right, guys. So welcome to our live analysis session. Now it's Wednesday. Things are already kicking off. So I'm not going to waste any time. Let's have a look at the markets here. So I'm on USDCHF at the moment. So far we've had a sustained long. Uh, the price has made its way long. We saw the price get down to these lows yesterday and take off, and it's still going. And I believe it will continue. The price is currently in hourly demand anyway, as to where we are. So I'm going to put this on here. And I do expect the price to continue pushing up for a long here. All right. From there was a bit of a technical difficulty. Hey guys, my apologies here. All right. All right, guys. Apologies for that. I don't know what just happened to the Zoom and to the live feed, but we're back on again. Just had a bit of a technical issue there, but we're all back on. All right. So as I was saying, at the moment that USDCHF is within H1 demand, and I expect it to continue going long. And at this point, my next point of area, I guess the price should really reach to would be into this supply zone right here, right here, and even further down. So I'm watching carefully to see what we get going forward here. And I do believe that we're going to see some great price action on this long here. Okay, at the moment, the price has been in a range. We kind of have an artificial support level here that the price is playing around with to, I guess, throw people off on a sell. But I'm watching to see what happens, and we'll come back with further updates. Now, Euro USD is still on a very strong downtrend. The price is pushing short as we would expect it to now, since this area of demand is really weak at the moment. But finding our entry down, the price does look like it's about to crash down again. And so we want to be prepared for how the price is going to do that. At the moment, let's put this here. At the moment here, the price seems to be quite poised on a sell. I would like to see some better price action, but today hasn't been so great. Now, usually Wednesdays are amazing, and maybe we have some news pending that the market is waiting for, but we'll see. We'll know soon enough what the price is trying to do. Now, pound USD, from where we had the entry back up here, we had a drop of 328 pips, an absolutely amazing drop. Now, the price seems to be finding its footing to go for a long, but I don't think the short is done. From what I can see here, I do think we have I do think we're going to have a long reversal, but I don't think it's going to be forever. I think it's just a pullback. But how the price would perform, that is the question. At the moment, there isn't any reversal signature here at the moment. The price has gone long and short. So effectively, we're in the price range. It's not the exact same as a range in trend in a sense, but we've had bullish action on the long. Prices come back on the short side, and now we're pushing long. So really, the market is in a range here. So I expect it to continue throughout the day. Maybe around 3 o'clock, we might see something slightly different. But this is where we are. So USD JPY is pushing even further long. Again, with USD Japanese yen, I'm looking for a long on it. I'm looking around this area here. I see some price action here, which to me gives us possibly the sign of a long. Watching over for this supply zone right here, which has become demand here. And I expect the price to really give us a long. And I'm watching for this price area right here, which is where we are right now. And I'm also watching for something around here. Now, the reason why I'm watching this high is if I was to draw the daily supply zone out here, we haven't had a return back into the full area of this liquidity. The price just missed this high. So I do think what we possibly could see with USD Japanese yen is short term or longer term, probably another long movement, or I wouldn't say long term, that's too far. Let's just say short midterm, or a pullback down to this area probably one more time. And then from here, we may see one more long to get above these highs before there is a short. Now, I am personally bearish on USD CHF, excuse me, thinking about USD CHF, USD Japanese yen in the long run. As I said to you guys, when I watch the price action from the monthly perspective, I'll zoom out here. We've had our first A to B swing. Here's our C right here, and here's our D. Now, the second swing of A right here and down to B, when we had a return here, the price was very specific on how it closed. We have no body closes above this high right here, which means we do not have a market structure or break of market structure. We're still in a bearish market structure according to the structure of this price here. I know I said structure many times over, but you get the point. Now, not a single body closed above this high, and then we've had a strong drop in the bearish action. So when I look at the price action here, long term, I'm looking, there is a chance for the USD CHF to pull back long, maybe one more time to 120. But from what I'm seeing here, overall, whichever way it goes long, then it goes long. I do expect the price to come back down and go short. But how the price is going to perform that, it depends on, the different factors we have going on here. But for what I'm seeing here, this price action movement we've had here was a very strong reaction. And I am expecting the price to give us some short here as a return, maybe, and then after we can take off for a long. But USD CHF looks very good for a nice long movement here. And so far, it's been great for a long. I expect it to continue. And once it gets into this gray area, which is our daily demand zone, daily supply, then we can start to make considerations of how we could possibly take a trade on here. But for the moment, we do have opportunity for a short and for a long too. All right, let's move over to my favorite pair, USD CAD, out of the majors. I'm really loving USD CAD a lot. As I said to you guys, I do think that this long is just a pullback into this bearish movement we have. I don't think the source of liquidity for this long is quite strong. I spoke about yesterday. If I go from the monthly here, I'm sure there are weekly zones, but the real crux and range of price that I believe we could get at the kind of long I'm expecting to go above these highs would be some sort of pushback down to here. So I'm looking for 1.14 USD CAD at one time or another. So at the moment, we pulled back to this monthly supply zone area here. And I do believe that the price is just making its way to areas where it can find palpable supply. At the moment, here's the real crux of everything here. So this supply zone was created a week before the end of the year of 2020. And we've seen right now the price has spiked back into this area here. And we have a very strong short already occurring. We've had, since the prices got into this area here, we've had a drop of over 100 pips. If I go down to the daily here, into the H4, from the spike that we've had inside of this area, the price has gone strongly short already. Now, for me, this is not enough of a reversal signature to say, let's take a short. I would like to see how the price interacts with these highs, and potentially from the way the price is behaving, we may not see the reversal for the short that I am expecting on USD CAD this week. It could happen last week. Excuse me, next week. In my mind, time is shifting around too fast, but it can happen next week. So I'm expecting possibly how the price, I do expect the price to interact with this high again that we've had from Monday, and then possibly give us the short. Now, if this short happens, then this short will give us 900 pips for a short. There is a short necessary that needs to come on USD CAD, and we have gaps here from the FOMC news from the 16th that haven't been run. Okay, so I do expect there to be a very strong short. All right, and I think the market has taken the opportunity to get to a very good level of supply. This is monthly supply and also weekly supply and daily at the same time. So it's a very strong area of supply liquidity for a short. And this is why as soon as the price has spiked into here, we've had a natural sell-off of over 100 pips here. Now, I'm hoping that the price will provide us some sort of entry again to go long. Looking at the M30, there's a few suggestions here. There's this demand zone across here that the price may get inside of and react and then go for a long. The price may even choose to come for the low of the market open on Sunday night / Monday morning. We could get that also going on. There's quite a few options that we can go for. All right. Good to have you back, Nathaniel. Good to see you.
Hi, Matthew, right?
Yeah, I'm good. It's good to have you back. All right.
Thank you.
All right. So, I mean, with the price action here, I think we have quite a few opportunities. We already had really good trades with pound USD and pound Japanese yen short. And USD CAD, guys, I will say this to you. Remember, the price action of USD CAD is very different from other US dollar pairs because oil has a big part to play in how the Canadian dollar moves. So we won't get an exact pair correlation, but to be fair, this is probably one of the best trades that we can grab. Okay. Now, AUD USD, let's have a look at this and see what's going on. I think the Australian dollar is also following in this bearish narrative we have. We have a very strong US dollar at the moment, and it's clear that the price is going to continue. So when I'm watching this, guys, from this area right here, okay, we've had a body close beneath this H1 area here, and I expect the price to ride its way down. So what I'm going to do here, when we look at what we've had here, we've had a very simple A to B movement on the C swing here, which at 2 o'clock we had, at 2:30 we had a speech. We've had a strong short of about 50 pips, and I expect it to continue that way. For me, USD pairs still have more US dollar strengthening to take on. All right. And the next area that I'm watching will be right around about here and into this demand zone. As I said, there's inefficiencies from the price all the way back from November 2020 when we had the US elections. Okay. We've had a spike that needs to be corrected, which is this spike right here. The price needs to correct what's happened here because we have market inefficiency in this order block right down here. So I'm going to mark it off so that you guys, when the price gets there, then you'll be able to reference it. But around about 0.70, I would say 400. So I'm expecting the price to continue shorting and get us back down here at least. And then from this point here back to where we've had this inefficiency, the market can correct this and then continue going long. So I do think that we have more shorting action to go in. So I'm still bearish. What I will do, however, is I want to find a very healthy way of getting into these shorts that I believe are going to happen. I don't want to get into the shorts with a bad risk management, number one, and bad entries too. So make sure that we do this right. All right. NZD USD is the same story. Price is still pushing short. There's been more of a struggle though with that New Zealand dollar, US dollar beneath this low. The price keeps spiking there, making its way back up again. We finally had the body close yesterday. So I guess the market is more ready to go for the short continuation. And similar to, not as pretty looking, but similar to AUD USD, we've had this entry into supply twice actually. The price has spiked here a second time and is on its way down. So, I mean, as a trade, this probably can definitely go now for a short. So let's check on the 15-minute. Yeah, I think we could get a good short from here. If you wanted to grab this, guys, sorry. I would say one of the wisest things you could do, look for a body close beneath this area in the last 15 minutes. On the return here, you can go for a sell. And my targets will be first target, easiest one, depending on the stop loss. Let's see if it's worthy of a scalp. Stop loss will be 5 pips, and the target is 40 pips, which is this low. So that's 1 to 8 risk to reward. So you can grab that. All right, that's not bad of a trade to take. So I'll be happy with that, and then from there we can take advantage of this movement. If NZD/USD wants to actually do more, then we might work out an even better trade. But this is a very simple trade as a T1 target down here. I don't know what I just did. NZD/USD. Don't know what I did do. Okay, I think I've got it here. Here we go. All right, so yeah, we can go right for a trade right here. And first target will be at 0.68809. Second trade, if the price continues in this direction, there isn't actually anything really to the left holding the price on the weekly. And on the daily, the next demand zone, which is what I've always been referencing as a real target and a real decider as whether we go short, is right here. Now, the price has kissed the area but hasn't really returned. If I go to the 15-minute, you can see the price has kissed the area but hasn't really returned. So this is a short trade right now. I think I'm going to scalp and take this myself. I like the look of the trade. There's a little 5-minute order block here that we can use where the gap has been formed. So on the return right here, my stop loss doesn't have to be so tight. I think I can squeeze a stop loss of 5 pips here. Yeah, possibly if you want to take it higher to 8 pips, but that will reduce the risk to reward. But I expect the price to get into here. Now, one key thing about NZD/USD, which is slightly different from AUD/USD, is if we get a daily candle close beneath this area here, and then we have a return, there are gaps on NZD/USD that need to be filled. So I do think that if that was to happen, we should be riding the wave all the way back down. To me, NZD/USD did a movement in the beginning of summer or around summer that didn't make any sense to me. It was very inefficient in the way that the price moved. But I had to stomach it and take the trade, which was actually around about here. The price was supposed to sell off, but we didn't get that. We got a long instead that never ended. So if the price will do this, there is a potential for the price to really give us even targets back down to 64. It really does depend on how the market behaves. But as a safe trade to go for, similar to AUD/USD, I'll look for a target down here at 66,435. And this is another 236 pips. And this is likely possible to happen even in this week. But before we take that final decision, we just want to take advantage of what's going on here. But remember, guys, if you're going to take this, those of you live with us or students, make sure that there is a body close beneath the M15. Students, I'll give you guys the breakdown and written breakdown of this in a moment. But this is what I'm looking for with our trades here. All right, let's discuss Euro JPY because it didn't work out as we wanted. So Euro JPY was worth the trade, but the price didn't do exactly what we wanted. It's returned to higher areas of supply, and now it looks like it's ready to sell. So I guess we should be really looking for our entries now. But at the moment, the market has been a bit quiet on this. I don't really like the price action I'm seeing here with Euro JPY. So I don't mind giving it another day. Now, the reason why I'm more cautious with Euro Japanese yen is because we do have Euro news tomorrow. Now, I warned at the beginning of the week, not that it's a warning as in something bad is going to happen, like it's going to be the end of the world, but rather European news has a tendency to spike a lot in the wrong direction very far away from the direction you're in when you're in a position. And usually the liquidity is really low in that first minute of the session. So your stop loss, instead of it being 10 pips, you might be stopped out at 80 pips because that's the only price level available to be filled. So you don't want to get caught in that trap. Okay. So I would say with European pairs, I'm willing to, unless there's very good reasoning for what the price is doing, I might actually just resign to not touching any European pairs. I'll analyze them, but I won't go and get involved with them per se. All right. So again, pound Japanese yen, an absolutely amazing trade. Now I had an entry here, and can you imagine I closed it here, guys, because I was moving house, so I couldn't really focus. And I missed out on another 300 and something pips, which is absolutely mind-boggling money. But I don't really care. It's part of the game. We'll continue going again. We had really good money on pound USD also, but we'll continue looking for trades. The price is currently reversed quite strongly. We've had some lows run on the way down. I mean, the price came very close to the low of this month, but it didn't take the low, but it did take the low of the month of April and a substantial low here from May, but just didn't take the low of the month. All right. Now, pound Japanese yen, the drop that it did do, I always knew the price would have to find a way to pull back up because we had a lot of inefficiencies on the drop. We do have quite a few things going on economically speaking, so it was only right that the price would do so, and I knew the price would pull back uh, here. So I'm just going to line these up here. Let's have a look at what the price section is doing. So on the H4 here, we've had a very strong manipulation bar, very strong bear trap here. So once the price gets to this 150.357, I'm expecting a reaction of some sort or just above it. And I want to see how pound Japanese yen is going to fare out. Is it going to continue shorting, or are we going to see some reversal action? It really does depend. For now, this daily demand zone is where the price stopped off at, really. And the price has been at least successful to take this monthly low. So with pound Japanese yen, this may be the reversal we're expecting. We'll see. We'll know by the end of the session, or at least at the end of the pound session at 4 p.m., what the price is doing. But for now, I wouldn't really get myself involved in this market right now as it is until I see more palpable trades and to go for. I'd rather leave pound Japanese yen to do what it needs to do. When it gets to good areas of where we can get a re-entry, then we can follow it again. But for now, wouldn't be a great idea. Okay, so I'm going to leave that alone. All right, let's have a look at the rest of the market. Let's scan for some trades now. I love Wednesday so much because that's really where the money is. Gold has done a. I'm upset with myself because I chose Euro JPY over gold for this entry here, and I should have just took this instead because it's already done almost 300 pips. It's an amazing short. But for just a recap for all of you, if you remember what I said about this order block here, silver is a very, and of course gold as well, is a very notorious pair. And because we're in very, very high inflation rates we haven't seen since 1991, gold is already highly manipulated, as is the most manipulated commodity in the world, on the same levels with oil. And the reason is because gold is a hedge against inflation, and every central bank who prints endless money knows this. So when we get into moments of high inflation, investors, especially big investors, are going to want to put money into gold. Now, I taught these lessons in January and February, students. So recapping over this again, we've seen the price break above this area, and I said if I see a body close beneath this area, then I don't believe gold is going long just yet. All right, now there is a gap on gold, as I said, that needs to be filled at 1857 between this range here, which was caused from the FOMC news. But gold is not done going short. There's inefficiencies all the way back down on the price here that needs to be filled. And I think that gold is just, I really wish I caught this, but gold has already done one of the most substantial drops it will do for the week. But I do think there is a chance for us to get into this. So I'm more poised to look for a sell on gold. And my area that I'm looking for the sell from would be this area right here. If I see the price closing beneath this area, then I'm going to look for the original sell that I was discussing, which was the targets back down to this demand zone here. This is my first target. We have the low of this week not too far away. So I'd like to see if the market would run this low and how it would close. Now, how the market closes beneath this low for the week or by the end of the week or whichever way it happens would be my considerations. But from where I'm seeing right now, I would like to see the price enter into this area of demand, and possibly we may get a long from here before the short. Now, the reason why I do believe there is a short on the way, forget the technicals for a moment, but fundamentally speaking, whenever there's high inflation, central banks know that many investors are going to put their money into gold because they want to hedge against the inflation, the increase in money or quantitative easing. And the way to do that from a legacy finance point of view, not talking about the other ways like crypto and Bitcoin specifically, but at the moment, we're at a place where whenever that happens, central banks purposely cause the price of gold to be as cheap as possible to discourage people from getting involved, because a lot of traders will be emotional about it. And if they see gold price going down, they're going to be worried that, they're losing, value on their investment. But for those who understand inflation, they know that this is one of the best protections against, their wealth. So I would say that's not financial advice. I'm not telling you to go and invest in gold or anything like that, but I'm just saying this is the pattern. From 2001 to 2011, at least there is clear data that whenever there is things like this, banks purposely on their balance sheet sell off a large amount of gold okay, to discourage investment in gold. Okay. And when it comes to the gold market itself, the trading market of gold has a lot more market cap or a lot more value in it than the actual physical market of gold. It's kind of a ratio of 2/3 to 1/3. The market cap of gold in general is 9 trillion, but 6 trillion of that is what we call the paper market. So not physical gold that we own, but the trading of the price, ETFs and etc. The other 3 trillion is actually the buying of physical gold and etc. All right. And it was done like that on purpose, of course, from 1984 or 1974, excuse me, to discourage people away from investing in gold physically, but rather investing in a paper market or make believe market and etc. But I'm trying not to go into teaching, but I'm just trying to say that, bringing it back to technicals now, watching the price action, I do believe there is one more short that needs to take place before a long. But when this next long happens, this should be a parabolic long. All right. The parabolic long should take the price of gold, I believe, to about 3,000. Okay. I do think the only way is up with gold, but I don't think we're at that stage yet. There is still technical features on the price here, all different things. We even have a double bottom here, which is a very strong area of liquidity, and many traders would have been in the long. So many trading this will be stopped out. So I do think at least 1676, the price should get back there, and if not lower. All right. And once we get into good areas of demand, I'm expecting possibly even a 1500 gold for just for a bit. Once the price loads up, now if it takes off from where it is, there's not a problem at all. But I do expect it to potentially go lower from a technical standpoint. When it does do that, I would really want to ride the wave short on gold. Okay. But there is longs and shorts available on gold that I think in this time that we are in, we could really get some serious gains from gold. From a technical standpoint at the moment, we've had such a strong short here. I think the market is telling us everything we need to know about what side liquidity is on. We have a very bearish, well, not long term, but we do have a bearish market on our hands here. I wouldn't say there is a clear entry at the moment. The wisest thing to do will be wait for a bit for about 3 o'clock. But all I'm going to do for now is just observe this 15-minute area. This 15-minute area here is a very important sequence in the price action that I believe if there was a return back here or a price came above this high, I would self right from here and I'll take advantage of the ride down. And that could potentially happen. Maybe not today, but even into tomorrow, something like this was to happen. A very simple but very highly technically beautiful trade, I would say, would be here. And I'll be looking for targets back down to my place here. I think from where we are right now, gold could still give us about 600 to 700 pips. So if I go from the current price here, 600 pips from the current price, okay, 550 from the entry, right back up here, around about just above 1800. We're looking at about 700 pips. Now, 700 pips, my aim is to have about 0.20 on there because that will give about 1,400 on the drop, which I think will be a nice addition. Try and get 3 or 4 entries, then we're looking at about 4.2K. Which is going to be a great trade. When I look at gold, I'm always going for, if you guys remember from January, I had a very good trade, which I gave to you guys, which is from the coronavirus order block here. I gave you guys the entry here. I didn't close this until down here. This was 2,756 pips. Absolutely crazy money. So I think when it comes to trading, guys, if you can get a very good entry on gold that you can swing for a while, that's the best type of entry. So this is why I'm stalking gold carefully. I'm looking for the right opportunities to get in and then we go. But for now, I don't really see much on gold apart from this area here. All right. So those of you in the live, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll